Recording in progress.
So happy Thursday night, everybody, and welcome to our Optimal Awakenings Lifebook Group Club. Tonight we are starting fresh. We've got a brand new year. Welcome to any brand new clients that are watching this tonight. Of course, we are going to record this. And guys, I tell people, if you can't catch it all tonight, go back and watch it again. Go back and watch the recording. If you're taking a walk this week, listen to the recording. And if you haven't completed element 1 in your life book, no big deal. You've got plenty of time, so don't feel like you need to rush through it. We're going to be going through this process a little bit quicker than Dr. A's suggestions. So I know you all look at this book and you go, dude, it's 700 pages. I get it. 2 pages a day is all you got to do. Mm-hmm. And literally, you can throw this on the back of your toilet, put your phone down, because every one of you gets on the toilet with your phone. Don't lie to me.
Kimmy.
And yeah, I know. Don't lie to me. And 2 pages a day, guys, all it takes. And so with that said, I want to introduce my lovely co-host, Allison Stone. And she's going to get things kicked off tonight. We're going to dig into your why element 1. So Allie, go ahead and take it away.
Well, I also want to say, so, there's a little chapter before, and it's called Your Current Story. So if you haven't had a chance to just kind of peruse that, it's really wonderful to go through and fill out this questionnaire about yourself. Like Kenny said, this is our 5th time through the life book, and or 4th or 5th. And so being able to go back through this and look at the answers that I selected 5 years ago, and I'm in such a different place every single time we go through this book again. So filling that out again, there's no rush. You can savor it. You can do, a page here, a page there. Dr. Anderson doesn't want us to rush through this book. And like you guys will hear Kenny and I say this a lot, elements 4 and element 23 are one that Kenny and I spend a lot of time in personally, going back to over and over and over again. Those are really good ones. But these first few elements are so important. This one is really the most important. And it's the finding your why. Why are you here? One of the things that this journey is going to do is it's going to have you building an awareness of inner conversations in your head. So when you start a journey like this, if you're saying, I really need to do this, or I really should do this, I want to tell you, you're going to not succeed. And I know that sounds really harsh, but it's because there's a big difference in your brain between I need to do something, I should to do something, I ought to do something, and I want to do something, right? I really should go to Disney World. I should do it. Probably not going to buy tickets or save up for that. If I say, I really want to go to Disney World, I'm going to make that my focus. I'm going to make sure that it happens. I'm going to have a timeline. I'm going to have a little chart that I fill out, save $5 a day to get to where I need to go. I'm going to have a friend that I know gets me the Disney hookup. There's a big difference between want to do something and I should, I ought to, I need to. So Dr. Anderson wants us to find our why, because our why we do something is because we want to do it, right? It's our why behind everything. When we look outside of ourselves, we give away any power to change. So if you said, well, I'm starting this journey because my doctor said I really need to do this for my health. Like I'm at a place where he's like, girl, if you don't do this, you're going to be on 800 meds. Guess what? You're going to fail. Sorry to be so blunt, but it's true. If you are doing this for someone else, you're not going to stick to it. You have to do it for you. Okay. So if you're like, well, I want to do it for me, but I'm not really sure why. Why is our intrinsic motivation? It's our highest stimulus for change. It drives us into action because we want to do it. It inspires us to grow to be better. And when you're doing something that inspires you, it also makes you want to just share the desire with others. So you'll know if you're doing this because you want to do it, because you're going to be so pumped about it as you get into it. It's going to be really hard to keep your mouth shut about it, because you're going to be so excited about how you feel and how you're changing and growing. So we're going to, and this is the other thing, okay, other inside conversation. We're going to set what we think we can do aside, okay? How many of us have done all the things? The Slim Fast, the Weight Watchers, the Jenny Craig, the Ally pills, the Olean chips, I don't know, all the stuff. I've tried it all. So, we maybe think, oh, I know how to lose 20 pounds, but I always gain it back. I can't do this. Set what you think you can do aside, and let's just have fun and trust in what's coming down the pipe. maybe it's going to be very different probably from anything you've done before. So he's got some ready okay questions. Do you really care about getting healthy? Do you really care about it? Because if you don't really care about it, again, it's going to be hard to do this journey. Do you want to improve your life? Are you sitting in a place and you're like, I mean, my life is cool, but I feel like I'm capable of so much more than what's happening right now. I thought so. This tells me you want health in your life and you value what's going on in your life. So this is a journey that's going to be for the rest of our lives. How many people have asked their coach, hey, so like, when do I finish up? Like, how many months before I stop? Val is giggling because Val knows this is a lifelong journey. You know, I'm 6 years in, Kenny's 5 years in. The journey changes. You know, it moves from being about the fuelings. The fuelings get us to our goal weight, and then a whole nother ball game starts. And that's where we're going to succeed in that ball game with what we get from this journal right here. So on page 41, if you haven't had a chance, this little paragraph has a lot of really big words in it. But basically what he's saying is optimal health, which is what we're going for, right? The fuelings and the 5 and 1 and the 4 and 2, that's a little start of our journey to get us feeling better really fast. This stuff gets you feeling better fast. But optimal health is a state characterized by anatomic, physiologic, and psychological integrity and optimization, which supports optimal well-being. So basically, it is changing our bad habits to good habits, right? And it's doing it in a way that it becomes our new autopilot. First, we're going to build an awareness of kind of what we think about and what we do when we don't, you're like, oh my God, how'd that donut just end up in my mouth? Oh, I was stressed out and that's what I grabbed and it was there. Why was it there? Well, because I went to the grocery store hungry. Like you work with your coach to start building an awareness of these things. And then that's how you get to that optimization. And as Val will tell you, because she's like me, you know, we're learning new things all the time. We'll conquer one habit, we'll get real good at it, and the next one rears its ugly head and it's like, oh, this is hard. And then we work together to get through it. And then sometimes we get to it, but then the other one crop back up. So then we're hitting that one again. Like it's just part of building it to its autopilot state. So on page 42, why are you ready? There's a quick little exercise for you to fill out. If you haven't filled it out yet, that's okay. Just you want to do that this week. It's wonderful. Did you guys, okay, so Kenny's a dude. There's other dudes on here, I apologize. But do you remember when you were younger, did you get magazines and they'd have like little quizzes? Do you remember those? Like I used to love taking the quizzes in magazines. So to me, this is like, oh, look, it's like a magazine quiz. And it's so fun to find out a little bit about yourself. And he does this over and over and over again in the life book. And that's what I think makes it fun. So you're going to go through this little list of things and you're going to check the ones that apply to you. All right. So now once you do that, you're going to be thinking about some concrete reasons for your change. Okay. It's important for you to add some of your own words. He's getting our creative juices flowing, but I want you to add some of your own words, emphasizing what we are for instead of what we are against. So let me tell you this, when I started this journey, I would say, man, I don't want to be this anymore. I don't want to be overweight anymore. I don't want to fit my clothes poorly anymore. I don't. It was all about all the things I didn't want. And my coach goes, Allison, why don't we instead make a list of all the things you do want? And because that's a lot more inspiring is to look at what you want rather than what you don't want anymore. If you focus on what you want, the don't wants, they just take care of themselves. So that's important. The way you have that inner conversation again, right? We're building that awareness. So you're going to express it in your own words, and it's going to be based on your current story, and that's going to help you start accomplishing those goals. So he talks about on the end of 43, describing in as much detail as possible something you'd love to do in the future to get you really excited, but you can't do it right now. All right. So one of my clients, her deal was she wanted to be able to get down on the floor with her grandchildren and play and then get back up and not feel like she needed to go take a 40-minute nap. So, you know, that was one of her whys. Dreaming about a healthy future, dreaming about being able to things you want to do and not have to second guess yourself or think, oh, can I do that? That's part of your why. Kenny and I are going to pop into our Life Book Book Club page, we're going to pop in this wonderful little exercise called 7 Levels Deep. And so there you go. We're going to pop that in there. This is really cool. If you're like, Allison, I mean, I'm doing this page, I don't really know how to find my why. It feels weird. This guy, Gene, is it Grazioso? I can't ever say it right.
Graziosi.
Gene Graziosi does this thing, and it takes what, like 8-10 minutes? But it takes you through finding your why, one little question at a time, and it goes 7 levels deep. And when you get down to that number 7, you might cry. It's that good. Like, if you really are taking the time to do it, it's that good. We're going to post that in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to jump in really quick too. I think here's the way to do the exercise. If you're watching the video or doing it live, what you'll do is take, and I do this with all of my clients. So not all coaches do this, but I think this is the foundation to help you figure out how to win. Because just like I said today in my video, a lot of people put value in motivation. Motivation will get you about 4 days into this process. And when you've got a drill bit through your eye because you got a headache from HELL, you feel like you're going to die, and that motivation goes out the window. So we know that motivation is a perishable skill. But when you write down, take a piece of paper out and write down, why do I want to get healthy? Watch the video and then go through the process and go 7 layers deep. And just like Allie said, she can ask me that question right now, and I'll bet you $1,000 I'll start crying when I tell you why I want to get healthy. Still do it to this day.
Yep.
And the second important thing that I think it's important for everybody to do is this. And he talked about that in here. Write down what you want to create. Take another sheet of paper. What do you want to create as a result of getting healthy? What do you see yourself doing? Is it riding a roller coaster? Is it going dancing? Is it going out line dancing one night? Maybe it's putting on some clothes that you haven't worn. They're in the back of the closet that made you feel real sexy. Whatever it is, write those things down, because we all think in pictures. Mm-hmm. And so if you've got those pictures in your mind of what you want to create and then why you want to create it, it really helps. I had people tell me, hey, I don't want my kids and my daughter or my grandkids to see me die because I'm overweight and obese. Put that picture in your head so that when you're faced with that challenge, or you have a rough day, or somebody says something ugly to you, and if you're a person who goes to food when that happens, you put that picture in your head of you laying in that casket with your daughter, your granddaughter looking at you, and you will not make those decisions if it's important to you.
Yep.
It's truly important to you. So I just wanted to jump in with that, because I think that is so important. And, when your why is big enough, the how gets very easy, is all I'll say. Go ahead, Allie.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. And, I remember when I started this journey, I was at such a point that I was just so ready to, I didn't feel like I felt like what I was supposed to feel like, if that makes sense. And I remember telling my coach, I'm like, I was at the point, this is before I talked to her about Optavia. I was at the point where one night I was scooping dog food for the dogs. And I looked at my husband and I was like, you know what? I'm at the point where I wish somebody would just be like, here's a bag of Diet People food, and be like, have a quarter cup in the morning, have a quarter cup at lunch. And I would be like, I don't care what it tastes like, I'm going to eat it, because I'm over it. Like, I'm ready to feel amazing. I'm ready to wake up and not be sore. I am ready to go and take on the day. I'm ready to, have that energy again. I am ready to be excited about, whatever the day brings. I was ready. And I was willing and ready, and I wanted to do whatever it took. And making this list really helped me fine tune what I wanted, what my why was, so that on those days that were headachy, or, maybe it's not time of the month and you don't feel good and you just think, I want all the chocolate in the house and there shouldn't be any. So then you get sad. It gets you through those times, and it makes it so that it's a no-brainer. And when you can picture what you want, and I'm this is going to sound so silly, but when my daughter was little and she'd be on the beach in her bathing suit, she didn't care if she was on the beach in her bathing suit. She was building sandcastles and looking at shells and running around with a big pile of sand weighing down her pants and going in the water. I was like, that's what I want. I want to be able to run around on the beach and just be at the beach and not be self-conscious. I want to be just not even thinking about the fact that I'm in a bathing suit. I just want to go be at the beach and enjoy the day. That was one of my wants, to be like my daughter and be, when you're little, you just don't care. You just out there loving life. And that's what I wanted. And I didn't feel like I was in that place. I didn't know what number on the scale would make me feel in that place. And it turns out it wasn't about a number on the scale at all. It was about doing the life book and building the habits and the awareness and building the promise keeping muscles to myself and learning to love me again. Because little Madeline Stone running around with the 5 pounds of sand in the back of her bathing suit, she loved herself. She just did everything about herself. And I'm like, you know what? I want to find that beautiful innocence and joy in life again. And that was one of my big whys. So this week, make your whys, write them out. If you're wondering, I don't know, I need to think it out. You can just do 2 pages in this element a day, but write it out. And when you have a chance to write it out, share it with your coach, because she or he would love to know what that why is. Because when you have a rough week, maybe something goes down big that's emotional, or you get sick. This will help you stay focused and not beat yourself up if you have a rough week, and look at how the obstacles are the way, and just power through it and be so excited about everything that's coming your way. So this element is first in the life book because it has to be first. Dr. A knew what he was doing when he made this one first. So again, check in the Life Book Book Club. We're going to put that 7 layers deep video in there, that it's 8 minutes long, I think, and goes through just finding your why, digging deep. Also, I would want to end it by saying that, the finding your why exercise is great when you're going to take on any journey in life. It's not just about your health journey. Maybe you're unhappy in your job. And so you're like, well, I want to get to the bottom of that. Is it, and you find your why with that, like why, and you get down to that 7 layers deep. This is what I want from what I'm putting my passion and most of my hours of my life into. This is what I want. Finding your why in that. I mean, anything. Or if you think, should we move? Should we move closer to my parents? Should we find your why with that? Like, this is a great exercise for all of those things. Whatever journey you're looking to take in life, knowing your why before you take that journey is going to help you make a lot of really great steps, and make those little baby steps in the direction of that journey really count for something. So y'all got any questions tonight about this awesome one? Val, come off the mute.
Not that I have a question. I have a success this week, if you will. I was with my grandchildren, and I was having a lovely fun time with them, playing with them. And they went over and talked to the other grandma and asked her to do whatever we were doing. And her answer was, oh no, I am not the high energy grandma that she is. And she's 10 years younger than I am.
Girl, get it, Mom.
So I thought, that's not really something that I was working at or after, but boy, I'm taking that as a compliment.
Yes, you are. And the fact that someone else is noticing and recognizes that you have this energy now, and she don't have it.
No.
So yeah.
So I'm like, yes.
You're like, well, I worked hard for this, so thank you. Still working. So yeah, I love that. I mean, these are the kind of thing, and that's what we call the non-scale victories. And to me, those were the ones on my journey that I loved way more than the scale victories. The scale victories are cool. I've had, a lot of us have had scale victories before, but it's those non-scale victories that really touch our heart and our spirit and let us know that we're working towards that why, and that and our cup is full to overflowing. It's really cool.
And ladies, I think it's important, and gentlemen, for anybody here, that exercise that we just went over, you can do regardless of wherever you're at in your journey, whether, and if you're restarting, or maybe you had a hiccup and put a little bit of weight back on, redo it again. And if you haven't done it, it's time to do it. It's really time to do it, because a lot of us have yo-yo dieted over the years. And I'll be frank with you all, I thought when I came into this process, I'm like, my coach is crazy. Why do I need to do this? I know what I've got to do. I'm just going to eat the food and do the deal and get the weight off. But just like it says, and we said earlier, when you find your true motivation, whatever your goal is, you probably shot too low. You didn't shoot low. But when I say that, my original goal was 40 pounds. I lost 72 and I've kept it off for 5 years. So I shot low because I had 20 years of yo-yoing, 20 years of going to Nutrisystem, losing 50 pounds, gained 65 back in 90 days. That was me. I've done it. It's easy to do. Anybody can gain 65 pounds in 90 days. I've done it twice. The great thing with this whole process is you all are going to learn, just like I said earlier, how to win that war with yourself. Right now, you're at war with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sick and tired of the yo-yo diet, the first key to that is throw the scale out the window. Once a week, weigh in. Do not weigh in daily. And if you're addicted to the scale, weigh in once a month. Trust the process. All the scale will do is lead you to element 4. And we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. But next week, of course, we're going to talk about element 2, knowing what you want to accomplish. And with that said, I'm going to stop recording.